The episode starts with Sanji talking about Laboon's story. He explains that Laboon's pirate friends are never coming back, since it's been over 50 years and they're definitely dead by now. Sanji also says that back in the day the Grand Line used to be even more dangerous than it is today. Usopp interrupts, saying Sanji and the crew shouldn't be so quick to conclude that Laboon's friends are dead. He says there's no way to be 100% sure. He calls it a touching story and insists that Laboon's companions might still return. Then he repeats that it's a deeply emotional story, and asks the old man if that's really how it happened. The old man with the flower-patterned head says yes, but reality is cruel. He explains that he confirmed through reliable sources that Laboon's old crew actually ran away from the Grand Line. Usopp is shocked and asks, they ran away, without Laboon? Did they even make it across the calm belt alive? The old man says that even if they did survive, they never came back. He talks about how the weather, climates, seasons and winds on the Grand Line change all the time. Everything is unpredictable. He explains that common sense is useless on the Grand Line and that its terror breaks the minds of the weak instantly. Sanji adds that Laboon's former crew must have been weak-minded if they fled the sea without keeping their promise. Luffy looks on with a mysterious expression. Usopp asks the old man if Laboon was really abandoned, and if he really waited in that same place for 50 years. He says that's unbelievably cruel. Nami questions the old man, asking why he never told Laboon that his friends weren't coming back. She also asks if Laboon even understands what humans say. The old man says he did tell Laboon that his friends weren't coming back, but Laboon refused to listen. The old man explains that the whale and his companions were truly friends, and that their promise was real, but they were never returning. Laboon, hearing all this, becomes upset and refuses to accept it. The old man says that ever since then, Laboon started roaring at Reverse Mountain and slamming his head against the red line. He says it's like Laboon is insisting his friends will come back any moment from the other side of the wall. The old man explains that even though Laboon knows, deep down, that waiting is pointless, he refuses to accept the truth. Because accepting it would mean losing the only hope he had left. The old man also says Laboon is from the West Blue, and that there's no way he'll ever return there. The pirates who brought him to the Grand Line were the only friends, and the only hope he ever had. Luffy stays quiet, just listening. Sanji says that Laboon really is a poor soul. He then tells the old man that he was betrayed too, and asks whether the old man hasn't already done enough. The old man looks at the scars and explains that if Laboon keeps smashing his head into the mountain, he'll eventually die. He says it's a strange situation, but he's been with Laboon for 50 years, and he can't just sit by and watch him die. Laboon. Suddenly, Luffy runs forward holding the ship's mast with both hands. The crew yells, asking what the hell Luffy is doing. They wonder if he's trying to climb something or just messing around. Luffy slams the mast into Laboon's forehead. Laboon goes serious, lets out a roar, and the entire sea starts shaking. Laboon jumps with Luffy still on his head, shoots out of the ocean, smashes his head into the ground, and sends Luffy flying. Luffy crashes hard onto the earth. The old man panics, but Nami says not to worry, Luffy won't die. Luffy gets up smiling, calls the whale an idiot, and charges again. Laboon tries another headbutt. Luffy dodges but gets hit by the next one. Luffy punches Laboon in the eye. From that point on, the fight turns into a back-and-forth beatdown. Just as Laboon is about to crush him, Luffy yells that the fight is a draw. Laboon suddenly stops and listens. Luffy puts his straw hat back on, grins, and asks the whale if he's strong, and if he wants to defeat Luffy. He tells Laboon that their fight isn't over, and that they'll need to face each other again someday. He says Laboon's old companions are dead, but Luffy will be Laboon's rival from now on. When they finish sailing through the Grand Line, they'll come back to see him, and Luffy will fight that rematch. Laboon hears his words and starts crying, roaring with emotion. Luffy draws the Jolly Roger symbol of their ship on Laboon's forehead and says it's the symbol of the promise he just made.